This is the Sakar Murli of the 6th of January 2024. Essence. Sweet children, you now have to forget those bodies and become free from being attracted. You have to become karmatit and return home. Therefore, perform pure acts. Do not perform any sinful acts. Question. In order to check your stage, praise of which three should you constantly remember? Answer. 1. Praise of the incorporeal. 2. Praise of the deities. 3. Praise of oneself. Now check whether you have become worthy of worship, the same as the incorporeal Father. Have you imbibed all his virtues? Is your behaviour as royal as that of the deities? Are your food, drink and virtues like those of the deities? Do you know all the virtues of souls, and have you become an embodiment of them? Om Shanti. It has been explained to you children that the place of residence of you souls is the Tower of Silence. Just as there is the peak of the Himalaya mountains, which is very high, so you also reside in the highest place of all. Those people practice climbing mountains and they have races. Some are clever at climbing mountains. Not everyone can climb them. You children don't need to race, etc. in that. Souls that have become impure have to become pure and go up above. That is called the Tower of Silence. Those people have towers of science. They have very big bombs and they have towers for them too. They keep all their dangerous things there. They put poison, etc. in bombs. The Father says, children, you have to fly home. Those people release such bombs while sitting at home that they destroy everything. You have to go from here up above to the Tower of Silence. You came from there and you will then go back there when you have become Sato-Bratan. From Sato-Bratan you have become Tamo-Bratan, and you now have to become Sato-Bratan once again. Those who make effort to become Sato-Bratan also show the path to others. You children now have to perform pure acts. You mustn't perform any sinful acts. The Father has explained to you the philosophy of karma. You became degraded in the kingdom of Ravan. The Father is now teaching you to perform pure acts. The 5 vices are great enemies. Attachment too is a vice. None of the vices are any less. Even by having attachment you become trapped in body consciousness. This is why the Father explains to the Kumaris a great deal. A Kumari is called pure. Mothers also have to become pure. All of you are Brahma Kumars and Kumaris. Even though you are old, you are the children of Brahma. The Father explains, sweetest children, now go beyond the stage of being Kumars and Kumaris. Just as you first came into bodies, so you will then have to leave them. You have to make effort for this. If you want to claim a high status, do not remember anyone else. What else do you have to You came here empty-handed. You didn't have anything. Even those bodies are not yours. You now have to forget those bodies. You have to become free from being attracted and become karmatit. Become trustees. The Father says you may tour around, but don't waste money. People donate a lot. It was printed in the newspapers that so-and-so is a great donor. He has had a hospital and a dharamshala, etc. built. Those who donate a lot receive a title from the government. The first titles are His Holiness, Her Holiness. Those who are pure are called holy. Just as the deities were pure, so you too have to become like them. You will then remain pure for half a cycle. Many people ask, how is that possible? Children are born there too. Therefore, instantly tell them that Ravan doesn't exist there. The world becomes vicious through Ravan. Rama, the Father, comes and purifies it. There are no impure beings there. Some say that you should not speak about purity. How can the body continue? They don't even know that there was a pure world. Now the world is impure. This is a play. The brothel and the temple of Shiva, the impure world and the pure world. First there is happiness, and then there is sorrow. This is the story of how you claimed your kingdom and how you then lost it. You have to understand this very well. We were defeated, and we now have to become victorious. You should be courageous. You have to make your own stage strong. While having a home and a family and taking care of them, you definitely have to become pure. You mustn't perform any sinful acts. Many people have a lot of attachment. You should check. You have promised that you will not love anyone except the one. So why do you have love for others? You should remember the one who is the most loved of all, and you will then forget all your bodily relationships. While seeing everyone, consider yourselves to be going to heaven. All of those bondages are iron-aged. We are now going into divine relationships. No other human being has this knowledge in his intellect. If you stay in remembrance of the Father very well, your mercury of happiness will remain high. Continue to reduce your bondages as much as possible. Lighten yourself. There is no need to increase your bondages. There is no expense incurred in attaining this kingdom. You are claiming the sovereignty of the world without any expense. They spend so much on their armaments and armies, etc. You don't have any expense at all. Whatever you give to the Father, you are not really giving, but you are in fact taking from him. The Father is incognito. He continues to give you Srimat to open museums, hospitals and universities, from where people can receive knowledge. You become constantly free from disease by having yoga. Those who have health and wealth have happiness for 21 births. Come and understand how you can receive liberation and liberation in life in a second. You can explain on their doorstep. Just as people come to your door to ask for alms, so too it is as though you give them alms with which they can become very prosperous. Tell anyone who comes, what are you begging for? We give you such alms that you become liberated from asking for alms for birth after birth. By knowing the unlimited Father and the world cycle, you become this. This badge of yours can also work wonders. Through this you can give anyone the unlimited inheritance in a second. You have to do service. The Father makes you into the masters of the world in a second. Then it depends on your efforts. Young and old are all told to remember the Father. You can do service on trains too, using your badges. When you're wearing your badge, you can explain to everyone that they have two fathers. An inheritance is received from both of them. No inheritance is received from Brahma. He is the agent. The Father is teaching you through this one and giving you the inheritance. You should see the person who comes in front of you and then explain. Many people go on pilgrimages. All of those pilgrimages are physical, whereas this is a spiritual pilgrimage. You become the masters of the world through this. People keep stumbling along on physical pilgrimages. You should also have a picture of the ladder with you. Continue to do service and you won't even need food, etc. It is said there is no nourishment like happiness. When you don't have money, you feel hungry all the time. It is as though the stomachs of wealthy kings are always full. Their activity is very royal. Their way of speaking is also first class. You understand what you are becoming. There, people eat and drink with great royalty. They would never eat between meals. They eat very peacefully and with great royalty. You should learn all virtues. Check the praise of the incorporeal, the deities and yourselves. You are now becoming those with Baba's virtues, and you will then become those who have the virtues of the deities. So you now have to imbibe those virtues. You are now imbibing divine virtues. They remember him as the ocean of peace and the ocean of love. Just as the Father is worshipped, so you too are worshipped. The Father says Namaste to you. You are worshipped in two ways. Only the Father explains all of these things. He also explains your praise. Make effort and become like them. Ask your heart whether you have become like them. Just as we came here bodiless, so we have to go back bodiless. It is also mentioned in a scripture that you even have to renounce your stick. However, there is no question of a stick here. Here it is a question of renouncing your body. All the rest are things of the path of devotion. Here you simply have to remember the one Father. You belong to no one except the one Father. You children have received this knowledge. You know how people are trapped so much in the chains of the gurus. There are many types of guru. You no longer want any gurus, nor do you have to study anything else. The Father has given you the one mantra. Constantly remember me alone. Remember your inheritance and imbibe divine virtues. While living at home with your families, you have to become pure. You come here to be refreshed. You understand that you are sitting here personally in front of the Father. There, at your centres, you understand that Baba is sitting in Madhuban. Just as you souls are sitting on your thrones, similarly Baba is also sitting on this throne. Baba doesn't take the Gita scripture in his hands. It isn't that he has learnt it by heart either. Those sannyasis, etc., learn it by heart. That one is the ocean of knowledge. He explains to you all the secrets through Brahma. Has Shiv Baba ever gone to school or spiritual gatherings? The Father knows everything. People ask, does Baba know any science? Baba says, what am I going to do with science? People call out to me to come and make the impure ones pure. So why would I learn science for that? They ask, has Shiv Baba studied such and such a scripture? Oh, but it is said of him that he is the ocean of knowledge. Those scriptures belong to the path of devotion. They have put a conch shell and discus, etc., in the hands of Vishnu. They don't know the meaning of them at all. In fact, those ornaments should be given to Brahma and the Brahmins. There are no bodies in the subtle region. While sitting at home, many people have visions of Brahma. They also have visions of Krishna. That means they are told to go to Brahma and they can become like Krishna, or would go into the lap of Krishna. They just have a vision of a prince. If you study well, you can become that. That is your aim and objective. A sample would be shown of just one. That is called a model. You know that Baba has come to tell you the story of the true Narayan and to change you from an ordinary human into Narayan. First of all, you will definitely become princes. It is shown in a scripture that Krishna ate the butter, but that was in fact the globe of the sovereignty of the world. How could the moon, etc., be shown in his mouth? The two cats are shown fighting each other, and the butter is shown being taken from in between them by the one who became the master of the world. Look at yourselves and see whether you have become like that or not. This study is for claiming a royal status. This would not be called a praja praschala, a study place to become subjects. This is the pathshala for becoming Narayan from an ordinary human. This is a godly university. God is teaching you. Baba has said, write Ishwarya Vishwavidyalaya, Godly World University. Write university in brackets. However, you forget to write that. No matter how much literature you give people, they don't understand anything from that. Here you have to explain personally. You receive the unlimited inheritance from the unlimited Father. You have been receiving limited inheritances for birth after birth. You can do service using the badge. Even if someone does laugh at you, the point of the two fathers is still good. There are many who explain to their children in this way. Children also explain to their father. A wife would bring her husband here. In some cases they even fight with one another. You now know that all of you are souls, sons. You each have a right to the inheritance. In the world, the daughter gets married and goes to another home. That is called donating the Kumari. She is given to someone else. You don't have to do that anymore. There, in heaven, too, a Kumari goes to another home, but she remains pure. This is an impure world, whereas that golden age of Chevalier is a pure world. You children now have the omens of Jupiter over you. You will definitely go to heaven. This is fixed, but you do have to claim a high status by making effort. You have to ask your heart, do I do service like so-and-so? It should not be that you want a teacher. You yourself have to become a teacher. Acha, children have to make effort. What would Baba do by taking money from anyone? You can go and open museums, etc. All the buildings, etc. here will be destroyed. Baba is the businessman and also the stockbroker. He liberates you from the chains of sorrow and gives you happiness. The Father now says a lot of time has gone by and little now remains. You will see how much upheaval there will be. Acha. To the sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the Mother, the Father, Bapdada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say Namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for Dana. 1. Live as a trustee and become free from being attracted. Do not have any wasteful expenditure. Continue to make effort to remain as pure as the deities. 2. Remember the loveliest one of all, the Father. As much as possible, continue to reduce your bondages of the Iron Age and lighten yourself. Do not increase them. Stay in the happiness that you are going into the Golden Age divine relationships. Blessing. May you destroy any burden of your old nature and sanskars and become a double light angel. Since you now belong to the Father, hand over all your burdens to the Father. Even if a little burden of your old nature or sanskars remains, it will bring you down from up above. It will not allow you to experience the flying stage. Therefore, Bapdada says, hand over everything. If you keep Ravan's property with you, you will receive sorrow. An angel is someone who does not have the slightest trace of Ravan's property. Burn away all your old accounts, and you will then be called a double light angel. Slogan: watch the unlimited play while being fearless and cheerful, and you will not fluctuate. Om Shanti. With Avyat silence, experience the double light angelic stage. You experienced Father Brahma as a walking and moving angel without any body consciousness. While performing actions and speaking to others, while giving them directions, increasing their zeal and enthusiasm, he was detached from his body and gave the experience of the form of subtle light. Follow the Father in the same way. Remain constantly beyond body consciousness. Let each one see your form of detachment. This is known as being angelic while in a body.